On Sunday, Vice President J.D. Vance wrote on X, quote, "This level of engineered chaos is unique to Minneapolis. It's the direct consequence of far-left agitators working with local authorities." He's right. According to data collected by the nonpartisan Transactional Records Access Clearinghouse, ICE arrests and detains far more illegals in Texas than any other state, around 17,000. Makes sense given its border state location. An NBC News tracker finds there are around 1,700 detainees in Minnesota. Think of it. Not 17,000, just 1,700 in Minnesota. But all the attention in Minnesota right now. Why? Why? Reporters at Fox News reviewed a sophisticated database of coordinated web chats by far-left groups in Minneapolis. On Saturday, followers were told to swarm Glam Doll Donuts, where this shooting of Alex Pretti just so happened to go down. In minutes, we're going to be speaking with independent reporter James O'Keefe, who's in Minneapolis. He posted on X over the weekend saying he has covered the cartels operating around the southern border and beyond, but even he is struck by how organized and evil these agitators in Minneapolis are. He said they have spotters on most street corners, even 30 minutes outside of the downtown, going into the suburbs. He said there's an autonomous zone being set up, like a no-go zone for law enforcement, period. He went there and said he identified himself as press, and they said they will kill press. At one point, they patted him down like they were the authorities, patted James O'Keefe down for weapons like they were the authorities. We don't know if Alex Pretti was sent to that area specifically by these anti-ICE agitators or whether he was officially part of the group. But some on that street were, because they had the telltale signal of whistleblowing, which is their favorite thing. And by the way, that needs to stop. Okay, now some are saying that's fine. That actually is interference. If you came out on your front lawn and just blew a coach's whistle at the top of your lungs all day, you would be cited by the police under the local noise ordinances. It would be a disturbance of the peace. That's what these people are doing. And no doubt they contributed to the chaotic atmosphere that ultimately led Alex Pretti to die on Saturday. The cops aren't 100% at their best when they can't hear anything. People are screaming in their ears and blowing whistles in their ears. It increases the likelihood of a bad shoot. No doubt by now you've probably seen at least one of the videos of the shooting on Saturday. We're going to walk you through some of the key ones so you know what we actually know. Not bullshit. It's very, very dangerous to go online right now. It's not full of bullshit. Fucking AI everywhere. I mean, truly, like there's so much AI out there trying to show Alex Pretti with the gun in his hand, which did not happen, or a police officer like pointing it at Alex Pretti's head, which is not available on the tape. Be careful. Like now more than ever, go to a trusted news source. Keep it right here. We have a team of producers that goes through all these videos. It's not that it's impossible for us to make a mistake, but we're honest and we have a whole team dedicated to not making them. If we make them, we'll correct them. So there's still many unanswered questions about what happened. That's the truth. For example, where exactly on Alex Pretti did the agents find the gun? Why did DHS claim in its initial tweet that Pretti, quote, wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement? Right now, you have reporting by Bill Malugin of Fox saying that's all bullshit and that internally, ICE agents they've had it with Kristi Noem and DHS and these overstatements about what happened. They don't want that. They want just state what happened. And they seem to be saying that's all bullshit. There was no intent to massacre. We didn't see that. I think they're ready to defend their guy, though many are saying it was a bad shoot. Off the record, not attributable. But a bad shoot doesn't mean that cop's going to jail. It means it could potentially mean he made a mistake. Interpretations of what happened vary because there were so many agents involved in the tussle with Pretti. So there's a body covering critical angles from virtually every camera we have. The incident started with Pretti seen on camera holding his own cell phone, recording agents who DHS says were sent to the area to arrest an illegal with a violent criminal history. Cool. That's what they should have been allowed to do. DHS says that person remains at large this morning. I mean, not for nothing. Jesse Kelly's always saying it's always the nurses. Like you could take it to the bank. This is one of the groups that you're going to see out there. Boy, things have changed. You know, my mom spent her life as a VA nurse. She helped veterans. She helped with PTSD. She helped with mental health counseling. She helped with drug addiction. Never in her wildest dreams would she consider going out there to impede law enforcement in the evenings while she saved lives during the days. So, I mean, like, it's great this guy spent his days helping veterans. He spent his evenings hurting a lot of them. A lot of vets do join law enforcement for obvious reasons. And anyway, back to the scene. So you hear whistles going off as these two women yell at a Border Patrol agent. Again, they're there to arrest a criminal illegal. And this is what the agitators do not want. They treat every single person who's about to get arrested as though they're just some innocent little child. But I mean, in fact, over 70% of those who ICE has nabbed in Minneapolis have been violent criminal illegals. Illegals who already have a conviction for a violent felony or have been arrested for a violent felony. Criminal illegals who are violent. Okay, but they don't want that. They want to get in the face of those trying to do the arrests. Here it's Border Patrol. Distract them, terrorize them, harass them, pollute them with the noise pollution and the screaming and the yelling and the whistles. And you'll hear some of that here. This video was obtained by Drop Site News. Watch. Sorry for the listening audience. It's deafening. This is what they have to deal with.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Okay, what you're seeing there, at one point, Alex Pretti was in the middle of the road. They said that he was directing traffic, and there were reports that he was directing traffic like right in the way of ICE. He did not. It wasn't like, oh, let me be a good Samaritan. This is what we've been told, but that he was agitating. In any event, he was doing something with the traffic. That much is definitely clear. And then he approaches the woman and the Border Patrol agent. In this next video, you're going to see the agent shove one of the women and use a chemical irritant as he tries to get these two women and Alex Pretti off of the road. At one point, the agent yells, "Get back!" Watch. A woman's been shoved to the ground. Alex Pretti now is in between that woman and the Border Patrol. The whistles, nonstop. It's fucking agitators. There's a scuffle now unfolding.
Honestly.
And somebody doing running commentary, which is not helpful. She's doing more harm than good. That woman, what the fuck is wrong with you? Honestly, she's endangering Alex Pretti and everybody else there. Why would you try to obscure the clear hearing of the Border Patrol agents making the arrest? What kind of risks do you think you are creating, madam? Now, we saw in that video for the listening audience that Pretty's now in a scuffle with some 6 agents surrounding him. Now, what does the reasonable person do? What do? They say, I'm sorry. I surrender. That's what they say. I didn't hear any of that on the tape. Did not hear any of that. Amid the chaos, you do hear one agent say, "He's got a gun," or "gun," several times. It is important to point out, before the agent says that, we do not see any officer with their guns drawn. Not one. It was not until after the one agent yelled, "He's got a gun," that we do see the others draw their guns. After hearing the warning, at least one officer grabs his own gun from his side holster. We count 2 to 3 seconds at most between gun being screamed. Again, it could be "he's got a gun" or "gun," which they're trained to yell when they see it on a perp. For all intents and purposes, that's how they were treating Alex Pretti, which he was at that point because he had committed a felony by shoving a federal agent. In any event, we count 2 to 3 seconds between gun being screamed and the sound of gunfire. A warning, this video is disturbing.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Honestly.
Oh, now you have the proper appreciation for what messing with the federal agent can lead to. Lady on the side. Any sane person fully understands that. Before the confrontation starts, we all understand that. Everyone knows that law enforcement's armed. Law enforcement has been screamed at, harassed, and is dealing with some very bad hombres every day. Do not F with law enforcement. It's really simple. After that, you hear at least 10 gunshots. Here's that same video, but shorter, so you're going to hear the agent scream, "He's got a gun," or "gun," several times. Did you hear it right at the beginning? Can we re-rack that? Let's just play that one more time. Listen right at the top. As soon as we start playing it, you can hear. We're going to slow that down for you in 1 second, but it's still unclear how many agents fired their weapons. Amid the scuffle, agents recovering a 9mm handgun and additional loaded magazines. The next video we're going to show you is very graphic. We did not blur it because it's already hard to see who is making what movement. This is the same video obtained by Dropsite News, but an account on X called AF Stream Watch took that video and stabilized it so it does not move around so much. They also slowed it down. All right, going to show this video. In it, you see more clearly that the agent wearing a gray coat has his hands near Pretti's backside, near his belt area. It appears that he grabs something, likely the gun, but another agent blocks the camera shot at that exact moment, so we can't say for sure. An agent screams he's got a gun or gun. The agent in green goes for his own holster and draws his own sidearm. The agent in the gray coat turns around and runs from the scene with Pretti's gun. The agent in green, who's drawn his own gun, moves behind Pretti, who's now trying to get up on his knees. It's then you hear the first gunshot. And now here is a slow down soundbite of the agent screaming about a gun. Listen. You heard it, right? First they yelled gun, gun. Then you hear a gunshot. Quite clearly, we'll play it again. Quite clearly, the warning that the man they were trying to arrest and they were wrestling with had a gun came before anybody pulled their gun, much less fired it. Here it is. God, the whistling is so annoying. Truly, like, think if you had to do your job. I sit at this desk. You know, I do interviews for a living and deliver news. I don't think I could function like that. I really don't. Wasn't that so annoying? And I apologize to my SiriusXM audience, which is trying to drive their cars. So this is like piercing through their car radios right now. We're done with that. But you imagine if it's all around you in person and you're trying to effect an arrest. All right. So we've made clear it's not clear to us where the first gunshot actually came from. A guy named Rob Dorr, who's a lawyer for the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, telling the New York Post that he believes Pretti's gun went off after the agent grabbed it, leading the other agent to open fire. Here's a photo of the agent with the gun, Pretti's gun, after leaving the fight. So it looks like he retrieved Pretti's gun and left the fight. And this is the video. The agent is involved in the tussle. He can then be seen running away from the huddle with a gun in his hand. He briefly looks back when the gunfire rings out. Some have determined that this could have been an accidental discharge with Pretti's weapon. There are reports of this happening with this particular weapon multiple times, that apparently it's known to do this kind of thing, which is not great. Not great in a firearm. Don't know if that's what happened here, but it's one of the possibilities that they're going to look into. President Trump did not initially weigh in on what happened, but he told the Wall Street Journal last night, quote, "I don't like any shooting. I don't like it. But I don't like it when somebody goes into a protest and he's got a very powerful, fully loaded gun with 2 magazines loaded up with bullets also. That doesn't play good either," said the president. Fair take. Measured, actually. Unlike Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, who immediately went for the cameras, claiming ICE is not law enforcement, and I guess Border Patrol too, and Pretti was shot just trying to buy a donut.
This federal occupation of Minnesota long ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement. It's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of our state. And today that campaign claimed another life. Donald Trump, I call on you once again. Remove this force from Minnesota. They are sowing chaos and violence. We've seen deadly violence from federal agents again and again and again. And I call on all Americans to see the decency that this state is exhibiting and the horrific cruelty, unprofessional, absolute abomination that is passing for what these ICE agents are doing on our streets. And quit referring to these people as law enforcement. They are not law enforcement. You ask us for peace and we give it, and we get shot in the face on the streets coming out of a donut shop.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that is so irresponsible. I know there's loose talk. Listen to podcasting, you're going to hear that. You're going to listen to, cable news pundits, you're going to hear that. He's the sitting governor of the state. He has an obligation to the citizenry to be more careful with his words. He truly does. And don't even get me started on Barack Obama and Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, who, I swear to God, if you wanted to get someone killed in Minneapolis, you wouldn't do anything differently from what they are doing. The words that they have chosen are extremely insurrection-y. Bill Clinton looking at you in particular. But it's exploitation. There is trust me, there's no actual caring. They don't care. They're not actually upset at all about what happened to Alex Pretti. They see no good crisis is wasted. Use every good crisis as an opportunity. That was Rahm Emanuel's words to Obama. They see an opportunity. They see an opportunity to finally make Democrats popular again, which they haven't been for over 2 years. They see an opportunity to make the Republicans look like the bad guys. And they know if they just keep amping up the things on the street corners of Minneapolis, there'll be another one. And they can just come out there and look forlorn, just so sad and exasperated. You saw how quickly they moved on from the little 5-year-old boy with the sweet little dog hat. What? They moved on real quick once it became very clear that the dad wasn't an asylum seeker. He was just a regular old illegal with a deportation order, removal order. And he ran. That's why he ran, leaving his 5-year-old alone. And that's why his wife would not open the door for ICE authorities trying to give her son. So the father had no choice once they caught him. Do you want us to give your son to somebody like your wife inside? Or do you want to take him? And he said, I'll take him. That's what happened. Oh, they moved on right quick from that little boy, didn't they? Because their narrative, it's like darts at a board. And I bet they view Alex Pretti, if you want to be Pretti, whatever, honest about it, as a sacrificial lamb, as like a soldier who did his duty. Like he was martyred basically for the cause of proving how terrible Trump is. It's not even necessarily about immigration. It's proving how terrible Trump is so that Democrats can be restored to power. And the best way they want to be restored to power is by part one, which was opening the border and letting somewhere between 10 and 20 million illegals come into the country. Part two, having zero voter ID requirements at the ballot box on voting day. So they can show up and they can vote and they can keep Democrats in office. I'm sorry, but Governor Walz is out of control. So is his lieutenant governor. She's a sicko, that Peggy Flanagan. Something's really wrong with her. Kamala, awful. The mayor, terrible. This one's still Governor Walz. I'm about to play with you where he compared ICE to Nazis. Great, that's our favorite thing. But for good measure, he brought in Anne Frank.
We have got children in Minnesota hiding in their houses, afraid to go outside. Many of us grew up reading that story of Anne Frank. Somebody's going to write that children's story about Minnesota. And there's one person who can end this now.
I just want to tell you what the polling is to which I'm referring. Here's just one via Axios. Internal GOP polling, which alarmed some Trump insiders, was completed at the end of December, days before Renee Good was killed in Minneapolis. 60% of independent voters and 58% of undecided voters said Trump was too focused on deporting illegals. Again, this is a poll by Trump's team. 33% said Trump was primarily deporting law-abiding people, as opposed to criminals. So 1/3 of the populace believes he's just going after law-abiding people as opposed to criminals. I mean, that's shocking. New York Times, do you think, this is their poll, do you think the tactics used by immigration customs enforcement have gone too far, not gone far enough, or been about right? Too far, 61% overall. 61%. Only 26% say it's about right. 11% say not far enough. Democrats, 94% against the president. Independents, 71% against the president. Even Republicans, 19% against the president, saying things have gone too far. That's how you get to 61% saying it's gone too far. I have to say, to be perfectly honest, I'm in the 11%. I just am. Like, I don't think they've gone far enough. Like, we've made very little progress in getting these illegals out of the United States. We've tried. They've tried so hard. God bless Tom Homan. He's a hero. But the numbers aren't great. We have so many more to get out. And like, I don't know. I think maybe what we needed to do right from the get-go was send in, the way he did in LA, the National Guard to protect these ICE agents so they could get in and get out faster without this kind of thing happening. There would have been a legal challenge, and it probably would have been sustained if the National Guard's presence there hadn't been proven totally necessary. But we're there now. A new year means new financial goals, like making sure your savings are secure and diversified. Will this be the year you decide to talk to someone from Birch Gold Group? They use an educational approach with a deep understanding of macroeconomics. There are forces pushing the dollar lower and gold higher, which is why they believe every American should own physical gold. So until January 30th, if you're a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and start the process, just text MK to the number 989898. Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and you are still eligible for a rebate of up to $10,000. Consider making right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate up to $10,000 when you buy by January 30th. Text MK to the number 989898. Claim your eligibility today. Again, just text MK to the number 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.